lot of the idea behind it, and it's kind of its own subculture, it's very like it's a weird elitism.
That. Science. I'd rather go fucking hard.
The convincing point is that if you do it just like how we're saying to do it, we can guarantee that it will work for you.
The problem with science-based lifting is that it's based on science. I know that sounds ironic because it is, but here lies the problem. When you do a scientific experiment, you get like 100 people, okay? And you all have them train said way in comparison to this way. And then the research says this way was 5% better than that way. Stay with me. That proves that this way is better than that way. It proves that it's better for most people. The problem is some people benefit more by 30 than from 10. That is the premise of science-based lifting. On statistical averages, how many people in those studies do you think are genetic phenoms? Do they have polymorphisms? Are they on performance-enhancing drugs? The problem is you, as an individual, are not an average. And so if the science says that you need to do 10 to 20 sets per body part per week in order to build muscle most effectively, what about if you're that rare guy that only needs 4 sets? Maybe you're me. I used to train, and in my opinion, it was science-based lifting. I was doing a lot of volume. I was doing set after set. I was doing training 6 days a week, each body part twice a week. I thought I was doing good. I mean, look at me. I'm an IFBB pro. But then I start doing bike racing. That's a lot of cardio, and I'm thinking, you know what? I can't lift as many sets. They can't do as much volume. How could I do that? I can't. And so I'm going to sacrifice perhaps 10 pounds of muscle in order to get more bike riding in. And I'm just going to train fewer sets. I'm going to do the minimum, half of what's recommended. Science-based training says that I train like a moron. I train 2 days a week. You find me the study that says that training twice a week while doing 7 hours of cardio a week, hard cardio for the most part, is ideal for putting on muscle. There is no study. Now, granted, I'm on the snake oil. I mean, that's probably making a difference. It's not possible. Of course it is. But do you think that there's a study that's going to show that I should only do, for example, 3 or 4 hard sets of chest a week? If I did 10 or 20 sets of chest a week, I would get smaller. I can't do it. How do I know? Because I tried it. A year and a half ago, I was 180.6 pounds. Today, I was 190.2. Do I look like I got fat? I gained over 9 pounds since then. And so science says that what I'm doing is not possible, but yet here I am. And how would you know if you only go by science-based lifting and you don't experiment? And so what Sam is saying, because Sam is a very smart individual, is that you need to experiment and see what works best for you. And gone are the days where guys would just go into the gym, do 5 sets of 5. Perhaps they would do a lot of volume. Maybe they do 1 set. What about that? In comparison, what about bro that does 30 sets? Even Mike Isertel, maybe if he does 20 sets of incline dumbbell curls, maybe for him, that is ideal. Maybe some people love pushing themselves hard. So hard. And speaking of hard, if you want to satisfy someone, make sure you get harder than last time for those intimate nights. And so I personally love going hard. David Goggins, he loves it too.
It's just gotta stay hard, brother.
And so when you tell me that zone 2 cardio, 10 hours a week on the bike at a heart rate of 120 is ideal, it's going to improve my endurance capacity and all this kind of stuff, I'm thinking, that sounds really boring. Science-based says it's ideal. I like racing. I like going hard. And so if science says that I should keep 1 to 3 reps in reserve and do 20 sets of volume for my chest each and every week, split out into 2 workouts, I'm thinking, that. Science. I'd rather go fucking hard. Harder than last time. You've seen me say this for years. 5, 6 years ago, I was saying the same thing. And so when I go to the gym, if that set wasn't beyond failure, it was an easy set. 1 rep in reserve, that's my warm-up, guys. It's not hard. That is how I improve. And so how many sets of that do you think I need to do? Do you think I need to do 10 to 20 sets of that per week for optimum hypertrophy, or do you think that would be overtraining? Well, studies say 10 to 20 sets. I was not in that study, and if I were, I would have been that outlier that would have lost strength, lost size. Everyone else, they're improving because most people train like pussies in the gym. We saw Jeff Nippard for years, 1 to 3 reps in reserve. What did I say? I said he trained like a pussy, and he didn't like it. And what happened? Eventually listened to Coach Greg and trained to failure each and every day. And what happened? He finally put on some muscle, 4 pounds in a year. After everyone thought he'd reached his natural genetic limit, he did it. Why? Because he was finally motivated to push harder than last time. That is what IPB pros, that's what myself, that is what Sam Sulek, that is what we believe. We love pushing ourselves. And so for those of you who don't love to push yourself in the gym, you probably don't even like being in the gym. What's the shortest workout possible? The science-based way. Oh, you don't have to go to failure? You just do a bunch of sets? Oh, that's great. That's what I want to do. You only want the transformation. You don't want to be in the gym. I love being in the gym. Training also needs to be fun. The science-based perfect workout is the one that you are going to do for the rest of your life. Come talk to me when you're 50. If you love it enough, you will do it for life. How many people think train long enough and stay natural to reach their genetic limit? This guy, yeah, eventually I used steroids in my 30s. I started training at 10. That's 20 years, so over 2 decades of natty training. Name the influencer that's done that. At least I had a reason. I couldn't make any more gains. I had tried.
Let's say for some reason I was raised in captivity and I read a book that was like How to Act Normal. As much as I could read it, it would never translate to actually being a regular guy.
And so imagine you read a book on how to drive effectively, science-based driving, science-based picking up a girl, and you're studying it in that book and you've got it perfected. You go out in the real world, you really think that's going to work? You need to try, test things out and see what works best for you. There's no difference in training. Just because science-based says 20 sets of incline dumbbell curls is ideal, it doesn't mean that it is. On average, it might be. On average, most people trying to pick up a girl can use some negs, make fun of her hair a little bit. Oh, you have beautiful hair. Is that a wig? Oh, what pretty nails. Are those acrylics? There's certain techniques, moves, if you will, that you can use to pick up girls. And on average, it's going to be effective. But you know what's the most effective? Being yourself. And that's if you want to get a girl to like you for the rest of your life. If you're just looking for a one-night stand, well, be aggressive, be suave, be cool, spend money, buy her drinks, get her drunk. All going to increase your odds. But if you want a partner for life, you need to be yourself. Trust me, I'm very polarized. You like me or you hate me. We see it in the comments section. But at least it's me. I'm not going to be some wishy-washy, lukewarm bullshit of a person. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. And if you don't like it, you can walk away.
Red goddamn Doucette.
And so if you say things and she's like, oh, you're a jerk, I don't like you. Yeah, get away. There's 100 more of you right now. I don't want to waste my time on a girl that isn't actually genuinely interested. And so you need to find that out right away and stop dating girls who are on the fence. Maybe they like you if you impress them enough, if you buy them enough presents and gifts. Maybe someday they'll like you. You want a girl that likes you from day one. And if they don't like you from day one, find someone else who will. There's going to be someone. And if there's no one, then get a prig and proper tan, go to the gym, dress nicer, get Coach Greg supplements, code Greg 15% off. Get my friggin' cookbook. Stop being a fat, bald, short piece of shit. They don't like that. If you're short and fat and bald, get rid of one of them. You can at least get rid of the fat. You might still be short and bald, but those are better odds. And so guys that are like Sam Sulek or even myself, we can just go into the gym and train and give it our all. And whether or not we do incline dumbbell curls with 10-pound weights like Mike Israetel or train like Jeff Nippard, we still make some gains, and here's why. We go hard. I don't care if you're ego lifting, you're just putting in the work. If you're consistently putting in the work, ego lifting, bad form, perfect form, whatever, look at that person 10 years from now and they're going to make a hell of gains. In comparison, Mr. Science-based, they're probably not going to look as good. However, it isn't really fair. They're not on steroids. And so They're trying to do the best they can with their training.
The point isn't exactly what they're doing, but a lot of the idea behind it, and it's kind of its own subculture, it's very like it's a weird elitism.
And so here's the thing. I'm one of those older guys. I've also used steroids. I've also trained natural. I've also got an education. And so I do a little bit of both. When some science-based explanation or training comes into style, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to give that a try and see if it fits into my repertoire of exercises or my feelings on how to train. And if it does, I'm going to then continue to use it. But if it's 10-pound incline dumbbell curls, well, I'm just going to throw that out the window. And so just because you're older versus younger, I don't think you should use science-based training or not use it. I think we can do a little bit of both.
Like the idea that they're following is, if I'm not perfect, then there's no point. I want to know it's going to work.
And so Sam brings up a great point. People want to know that what they're doing is going to give them said results. They see incredible transformations like Hussein Farhat, and they believe it had to have been steroids, it had to have been a polymorphism. It can't just be great genetics. I mean, after all, how do you put all that muscle on doing broomstick handle chin-ups? What people don't understand is the difference between training perfectly. I'm talking about the best form in the world. The best form ever. Better than mine, better than Jeff, better than Mike. You take that person with perfect technique and you take the other person and they don't even train properly, but they train hard. They're cheating their reps. They may not be doing it quite effectively. They aren't doing the long length partials. Maybe they're not even going all the way down. All things being equal, both equal genetics, the person who's training hard beats the person with perfect technique every single time. And so when you see a guy, perhaps it's Hussein, perhaps it's Julian, and you're thinking, they didn't train effectively when they first started, and so how do they have better games than me? Based on science-based lifting, that's impossible, and so they must have cheated. They must be on SARMs, steroids, they must be lying. Well, we all know that Hussein was natural after all, passed the lie detector test even, 4 consecutive blood works, but even to this day, people still think Hussein's a fake natty. And that's because they think, well, if you don't train perfectly, then you can't make all those gains. And since they train perfectly and they didn't make all those gains, then others who make double or triple their gains, well, that is impossible. But it's more like school than you think. Sometimes you go to school and you don't study at all and you get 100 on the test, while your friend, they studied harder than last time and they still failed. There's different genetics for intelligence in the same way that there's different genetics for putting on size. Some are blessed to put on size, some are blessed to get hundreds on tests. But you don't see everyone who gets 100 being accused of cheating on their math tests. But yet in the bodybuilding world, that is exactly what's happening. It's people trying to cope.
Okay, this is actually the solution, because this is perfect and this will work. It's a snake oil of an idea instead of a product.
Did I just hear snake oil? A lot of people think that this is snake oil, Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. But remember, you haven't watched the videos where we've proven with receipts, third-party testing multiple times, and they compared this to our competition. For example, Turkplex. I love picking on Derek. It's so fun because we know he's a liar and he's not suing me because I have chain of custody proof that Turkplex did not contain the turkesterone that was indicated. It wasn't Ajuga turkestanica. It's most likely cyanosis. But what you have with HLT supplements is Ajuga turkestanica from Uzbekistan. You guys think it's a scam. It's so funny. It's kind of like Hussein Farhat, who knows he's 100% natural. He knows it. But then the Trend twins send up some photo and it's like steroids and the needles. But he knows for certain. I mean, wouldn't he know? He knows he's not lying. And so I know I'm not lying. You guys who know me, those of you who really know me, know I'm not lying. I'm not bullshitting about this product. I have nothing to hide. I have no fear whatsoever. Do you know how much money, research, and development we put into getting this product? And so behind the scenes, you guys know nothing about this, but all you need to know is that this is what we say it is, and it's backed up by a money-back guarantee and a $20 gift card, and you want it? Code Greg, 15% off, and you deep down, you know I'm not lying.